God, really? Dad!
Hey everyone, welcome to Tavern Talk by Initial Reaction. I'm Cody, and this is my dad.
Hey, I'm Paul.
And this week we're reviewing RAMBO Last Blood. So, initial reaction, what did you think?
It was not a Rambo movie.
I agree.
It was a movie could have stood a standalone by itself, but with a Rambo ending.
Yeah, it kind of started off, I don't want to say slow in a way, but I wasn't getting the vibe like, this is Rambo. Oh yeah, I'm about to watch a Rambo movie. I was like, agreeing with you, it could have been any other movie, and it would have been a good movie, but there was that weird thought watching it that it's like
They felt the need to really set it up because it really went away from the storyline. What I saw, it was like I said, it could have been a standalone movie, but they just kind of wrapped it up in a very Rambo kind of way.
Yeah, it's like you're used to seeing Rambo kind of like in the woods, like getting dirty, covering
Very
himself in mud.
the military aspect, soldier aspect.
Yeah, it had none of that in
This
this.
was a very different vibe.
This was Rambo versus the Mexican cartel.
Yeah, the vibe I got from it was Taken versus with John Wick with a little bit of Saw mixed in with it.
Yes, because kind of progressing through the movie, it's set up to where Rambo has this family now, but
Yes.
it's basically this niece that he kind of raised as his daughter, and you know she gets taken, and he has to go to Mexico to find her, and not really because I don't want to do spoilers because I think you should go and watch it, but things happen to where you know he has to take on the entire Mexican cartel. I mean, would you say cartel or I don't?
I guess where it did stay with the Rambo thing, like if you saw the last episode in the series, I guess there was no lack of violence, and they didn't let you down in this.
Oh yeah,
this
it
one
was
either.
gruesome.
It was very graphic, a lot of graphic violence with. I guess what's the word I'm looking for, but it was very R-rated.
Oh yeah, it earned its R rating very well, and it's kind of like what I was going back to was you're kind of waiting for, okay, when is this going to become a Rambo movie? And you know he follows the guy, and you know this is a little spoiler, but he kind of just hits his shoulder with the butt of a knife, and then he digs his fingers and just starts pulling out his collarbone basically, and it's like, oh, yeah, this is a Rambo movie.
There was no cutaways. You
got to see some very disturbing things, I would say, but knowing it's a Rambo movie, you're not like, oh, that's gross. You're like, oh,
I don't think no one shows up at a Rambo movie expecting there not to be a little bit of violence.
Oh yeah, it's kind of like in the sense of what you said, John Wick. It's like people don't go to John Wick like, oh, this is a non-violent movie, but that's all it is. But
if you're looking for an action movie with the gratuitous violence, this is your film.
Yes. Going away from the action part, the characters in the movie, John Rambo, different from the other movies, and then the new characters, because, I mean, we have no pre-existing characters besides Rambo.
Right.
How did you feel about the new characters and the development of them in this movie?
Like I said, it was strictly an action movie, but it did feel kind of rushed as far as the storyline. It seemed like they rushed to get to the Rambo-esque ending of the movie. So you didn't really ever get really invested in the characters that were involved in it. That kind of leads up to the grand finale.
Yeah, I agree. The movie only has a runtime of 1 hour and 39 minutes. I looked it up after the movie.
Short movie.
And it kind of has this slow beginning of, okay, we're going to set up why it's going to be a Rambo movie. And then once it finally gets to that, I mean, it kind of just, it just is shot by shot. And it kind of just knocks the rest of the movie out. And when the credits started rolling, it has this nice homage to all the other original first 4 Rambo movies. And it kind of left me wanting more. I felt if they would have just added maybe 20 more minutes to make it a 2-hour movie, we could have had a little bit more character development. So when something happened in the movie, you kind of had more of a emotional tie to the character, especially
you cared a little bit more.
Yeah, because like I said, not to get the spoilers, but things that happen that would make someone emotional. I mean, even the way they reacted in the movie, it was like, that stinks. But and that was kind of one of the things that took me out. Also with like I said, this could have not been a Rambo movie very easily.
Yeah, it stood by itself.
Yeah, and it kind of had me feeling at the end, it felt like a Rambo short film, like someone decided, let's finish Rambo's story, but like we don't have the budget.
With the title Last Blood, I really kind of expected it to kind of be an homage to the first Blood. Mm-hmm. And there was nothing in common with First Blood at all.
Besides booby traps.
Right.
And yeah, that was really it. I mean, you don't really, besides like one little conversation, you don't even hear about other characters. I mean, it doesn't bring up other characters. No. And so like saying that, you could have taken out his name and taken out the title of the movie, and nobody would have even known it was a Rambo movie. I mean, like I said, it could have been similar because of the ending, but other than that, that was it.
I agree.
I mean, just moving forward from that, I guess we covered the action, we covered characters, the shots. You know, did you find anything that kind of stood out more than kind of like the whole cave sequence? I thought that was cool.
The ending was awesome. I mean, like I said, all the action scenes and I guess special effects, and I thought that was done well. I mean, there's this again, not to be a spoiler, there's the grand finale of explosions that is awesome at the end, but there was shots in the movie itself that seemed very, again, rushed. It was like even the way the movie was put together in spots, it seemed like it didn't really flow well in places. It was kind of choppy.
Yeah, kind of like, I think the longest scene you kind of get that makes you excited is when he's setting up all the booby traps.
Yeah.
And like, that's kind of like it's chopped up, but you're getting to see what's going on, kind of thing, like, oh yeah, I'm ready to see this happen. And even though it was awesome to see it, come to play, it happened so quick. So it's like, I mean, if you get up to go to the bathroom, I mean, you could miss it.
Oh, if you miss that,
I mean, you miss a lot of it. Yeah, and so that's the thing that, like I said, is, bad as it was to be a Rambo movie and to see, some gruesome deaths. It was like, I mean, it kind of just happened quickly.
Yes.
And so, but having said all of that, I mean, is there any other thoughts that you can think of about the movie?
No, I mean, like I said, if you're just looking for an action movie with gratuitous violence, it's your film. Mm-hmm. Like I said, as far as being part of the Rambo series has had its up and downs. We have that whole, part of the series where Rambo was helping the Taliban that nobody wants to talk about. This kind of let me down as far as part of the series, but it was still, this is an action movie. It's pretty good.
So, adding on to that, when I was growing up, you showed me these movies, and these are movies you grew up with.
Oh yeah, Rambo. Like when I was a kid, that's where I wanted to be Rambo.
Who didn't?
So I ended up going on later on and joining the army, and that probably had a little bit to do with that.
Yeah. And so, would you say Rambo as a child or young adult or whatever had a big impact on you growing up?
Oh yeah, I mean when I was a kid, every bit of money I got, I rode my bicycle up the street to the army surplus store and bought camouflage and military T-shirts and.
Did you get the knife?
My survival knife.
You had to have your survival knife.
The fishing kit and then the compass and the end of the knife.
Because you don't know when you need to sew up a cut
you
or a
never know
wound.
if you jump off a cliff into a tree and cut your arm open.
Exactly. Right. And like I remember growing up, and then it's kind of like the whole, oh, my son's never seen this, let me show you this.
Right.
I don't know if you remember it at all, but do you recall getting to show me that for the first time? Or like I remember watching it as a kid, and I liked some movies better than Rambo. I mean, I really enjoyed Rambo, but other movies did stick out to me more as a child that you showed me, like Indiana Jones and Goonies.
Well, you share my love for movies. We've had that in common. Some of you liked some of the ones I liked better. Of course, as I get older and I go back and watch some of those movies too, It's like I remember this being a whole lot better than it was the first time I watched it, compared to now. Flash Gordon's a good example of that. But I tried to share those things with you that I found exciting as I was a kid.
Yeah, I remember. I guess the most thing I could remember from it was when you showed me. I mean, the same thing. It's like I had a fascination of wanting to start collecting knives and doing all, being Rambo. And I think that's, every kid, they kind of, once they watch their first war movie or whatever, like even Red Dawn. I remember watching that with you. That's a great movie.
Yeah.
But I think this is a good, having said that, from you growing up with it, and then you could ask my opinion on it too if you'd like, but from watching this as a child and growing up with this, what's the biggest difference to you from watching this now, or someone who's going to grow up and see this before they watch an old Rambo movie?
Oh, the older Rambo movies, they had violence, but it wasn't quite as graphic as it is now. Obviously, the special effects aren't quite as good.
The one before this one, I remember watching that one, and I was like,
oh yeah,
this was bloody.
Yeah, but if you go back and watch those older ones, it's not going to be quite as graphic as the ones that you see now. But I mean, that first one was really shocked a lot of people as far as when they put that movie out, the reaction they got to it. They didn't expect it to do as well as it did in the theaters, and it did awesome.
Yeah, I mean, look, we're 2019 and they've made a 5th film.
Right.
And I don't know. I think there's kind of an audience for it now. Which these remakes or making another sequel, bringing back the original character for the most part. It's like we said at the beginning of the film, I don't want to hate this movie because of the nostalgia of Rambo itself.
Well, there's no way I was not going to go see this movie.
Yeah, exactly. and I think if you're a fan of Rambo, definitely come check it out.
Right.
It's different. It's it takes you to a different part of Rambo's life. I mean, it takes you into the future of how Rambo is as an old Sylvester Stallone.
Senior Rambo,
yeah. And but having said all that, on initial reaction, we give movies 5 stars out of 5 stars. Rambo: Last Blood, what would you give it?
Just as an action movie, I would give it 3 stars.
Yeah.
I mean, you get everything you want out of an action movie. Like I said, now if I had to put it in the saga of Rambo, I wouldn't. Like I said, I probably wouldn't rate it as high. But it's just a standalone movie by itself. It's a solid 3 stars.
I agree with you. I think I'll go. I might even go right down the middle. I might go. I guess 3 would be right down the middle, but I think I might go 2.5 due to the fact that I think it didn't necessarily have a nostalgia that the other ones kind of held. And not saying the other ones are perfect, but and that's saying it in the Rambo sense, like that, keeping it in a Rambo saga.
Rambo always had this soldier aspect to it, fighting for honor, fighting for somebody else. This is strictly a revenge movie.
Oh, and it's said in the movie.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not about. He kind of, basically talks to a reporter girl in the. She has a small, and I wish I knew the actress's name, but he told her, "I want revenge. I don't like. That's basically the premise of the whole second half of the movie.
Yes.
And he gets his revenge. That's all I can say about it. But I think I agree with you. 2.5 out of 3. 2.523. But anything else you want to add on it?
No. Like I said, if you're a Rambo fan, you definitely want to see it. Just enjoy.
Yeah. Thanks for watching. Thank you to my dad for watching this with me. It was a fun experience to, revisit Rambo in a new age. And of course, thank you to Movie Tavern for letting us come and review these movies. Movie Tavern is a really great place to come watch anything, to get a cool experience of a new movie, or they even show movies that we saw before the coming attractions. They were showing Temple of Doom. They were showing Major League and Ferris Bueller's Day Off. And so they have a variety of things that they're going to show you, and you can have a meal and a drink with it, and they have a bar. So, I mean, for adults, you want to have a date night, I mean, you can come to here too. Having said that, thanks for watching the video. If you like this video, you can click down there and watch more videos. You can subscribe, hit the notification button. And thanks for watching, guys. Really appreciate it. See you next time.